Now it's time for The Way You See It. Your comments via social media. First up, Alan, reacting to my interview with Colonel Oliver North, in which we talked about the Obama administration's deafening silence about the persecution of Christians in the Mideast. Alan writes, "Wake up! President Obama is fundamentally changing America, just like he said he would." Next, it's Richard writing in about the president's reaction to the Republican candidates' complaints about the moderators in that CNBC debate. Richard writes, "Those in power now laugh and make fun of the candidates, saying they can't take the pressure from the debates and the moderators. What I see is politicians and those who would be politicians organizing themselves to improve a bad situation. I am heartened by it." And finally, Kitty checks in, writing in about her candidate of choice. Here's what she has to say. "I'm ashamed of how our country is being run. That's why I'm voting for the Donald. I know he will help America. No, he will save America." We've saved some time here at the conclusion of our program to remember the man who proved President Truman wrong. You may recall that HST famously said, "If you want a friend in Washington, buy a dog." But Harry Truman never knew Howard Coble. I did. Howard was my best friend in Washington, and last night he passed away in his native Greensboro, North Carolina. John Howard Coble made history as the longest-serving Republican representative from North Carolina. Ronald Reagan's coattails swept Coble into Congress in the 1984 election. Only 79 votes kept him there 2 years later, but subsequent campaigns were not all that tough on my friend because he worked hard on behalf of all his constituents, all the while displaying his homespun sense of humor. You'll get a sense of it here from his comments during a press conference announcing that he would not run for re-election in 2014.
"I still have the energy and interest to discharge congressional duties, but back and skin cancer are troublesome." Now, some of you may disagree with this. Mentally and emotionally, I am stable and reliable.
Howard kept up a frantic pace even when he had decided to retire. When my own mother passed away last year, Howard stopped by prior to the memorial service to spend a half hour with us. Then he was out the door, headed to a day filled with meetings around North Carolina's 6th District. My friend had a unique way of saying things. Speaking of my tendency to impersonate him, he would say, "That J.D. Hayworth was born with parrot's ears." On more than one occasion, he said, "Hayworth, love you like a brother." And he meant it. I did too. When someone we both knew would pass away overnight, he would say to me, "We lost a good one last night." Based on his strong faith that initially pointed him toward the pulpit instead of politics, let me say it this way about my dear friend. Because of his strong faith, heaven gained a good one last night. Howard Coble was 84. Rest in peace, Lita.